toughen, to make, something, stricter or to become stricter, vigorous, done with great force and energy, bossy, tending too often to tell people what to do, often giving orders in a way that people do not like, martyr, a person killed because of their religious or other beliefs, achievable, can be reached by working hard. Follower, a person who likes and admires someone or something very much, unpleasant, not enjoyable, causing discomfort or pain, redress, to correct, something that is unfair or wrong, postgraduate, of or relating to studies done after one completes a study program at a college or university, horrify, to cause, someone, to feel horror or shock, to frighten. Overture, something offered with the hope that it will improve a relationship, agreement, etc. Surgeon, a doctor who performs operations involving cutting into people's bodies in order to repair damage or remove damaged or diseased tissue. Unjust, not fair or deserved, not just. Bewilderment, the feeling of being unable to think clearly. Tomb, a building or above or below the ground in which a dead body is kept. Crippled, to be unable to move or walk normally. Socialist, describes a government which supports that the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or controlled by the community as a whole. Cull, to control the size of a group of animals by killing some of them. Warden, an official who is in charge of a prison. Ignorant, lacking knowledge or information. Landlord, a man who runs an inn, pub, or rooming house. Orphanage, a place for children without parents. Turmoil, a state of confusion or disorder. Amaze, feeling or showing great surprise. Compel, force someone to do something. Relocation, the act of moving something to. Exonerate, to prove that someone is not guilty of something. Cohesion, a condition in which people or things are closely united. Intolerant, not willing to allow or accept something. Intolerance, a lack of willingness to permit or accept something. Apathy, the state of not caring about something. Coherence, spoken in a clear, logical, well-organized way. Bonfire, a very large outdoor fire. Inhumane, not kind or gentle to people or animals. Not humane. Inference, the act or process of reaching a conclusion about something from known facts or evidence. Conceivable, able to be imagined, imaginable or possible. Inconceivable, impossible to imagine. Covert, done in a secret way. Hospitality, the activity of providing food and drinks for people who are the guests or customers of an organization. Allocation, the process of giving someone their part of a total amount of something. Yoga, a system of exercises for mental and physical health. Massacre, the violent killing of many people. Hepatitis, serious disease of the liver that causes fever and makes your skin and eyes yellow. Backyard, an area in back of a house. Mischief, a cause of damage, harm or evil. Unequivocal, very strong and clear with no doubt. Extremism, belief in and support for ideas that are very far from what most people consider correct or reasonable. Bark, the outer covering of a tree. Exploitation, the act of getting value from something. Incompetent, lacking in ability or skills. Hardship, pain and suffering. Greenhouse, a building or part of a building that has glass walls and a glass roof and that is used for growing plants. Advancement, to move forward or higher in a system. Influx, the arrival of a large number of people. Attainment, the state of having reached a high level. Straw, a thin tube used for drinking liquid. Holocaust, the killing of millions of Jews and other people by the Nazis during World War II. Salvation, something that saves someone from danger or a difficult situation. Dinghy, a small rubber boat. Stomp, to put your foot or feet down forcefully and noisily. Hug, putting one's arms around someone. holding tightly in one's arms. Invalid, having no effect. Overcrowded, filled with too many people. Gracious, very polite in a way that shows respect. Mercy, forgiveness shown toward someone whom it is within one's power to punish or harm. Bigot, someone who strongly or unfairly dislike other people, or their ideas. Someone who refuses to accept people of a group on the basis of race, ethnicity or sexual preference. Sectarian, referring to religious or political groups. Downright, completely or totally. Adultery, sex between a married person and someone who is not that person's wife or husband. Illicit, not allowed by law, unlawful or illegal. Maid, a female servant. Intermediate, in the middle of two extremes. In between. Coordinate, to cause. Two or more things. To be the same or to go together well. To cause. Two or more things. To not conflict with or contradict each other. Conserve, to keep. Something. Safe or from being damaged or destroyed. Harvest, to gather. A crop. Solidarity, a feeling of unity between people who have the same interests and goals. Cultivate, to grow and care for. Plants, recklessly, not showing proper concern about the possible bad results of your actions. Jaded, tired or lacking drive. Energy, rouse, to wake up from sleep. Regeneration, the renewal, regrowth, or restoration of a body or a bodily part, tissue, or substance after injury or as a normal bodily process. Palace, the official home of a king, queen, president or ruler. Incapacitate, to make someone or something unable to work, move, or function in the usual way. Pronouncement, a message. Provocative, causing discussion, thought or argument. Incidence, the number of times something happens or develops, the rate at which something occurs. Breathtaking, very exciting, very great or surprising. Incapable, not able to do something. Inefficiency, the lack of ability to do something or produce something without wasting materials, time or energy. The quality or state of being inefficient, not efficient. Founding, the time when something is established or created for the future. Passionate, having, showing or expressing strong emotions or beliefs. Drip, to let small amounts of a liquid fall. Flame, the hot, glowing gas that can be seen when a fire is burning. Battalion, a very large part of the army. Stripe, a long line that is different in color from nearby areas. Cavalier, not showing concern for something important or serious. Pernicious, causing great harm or damage often in a way that is not easily seen or noticed. Dynamism, energy and a strong desire to make something happen. Fissile, about to undergo nuclear fission, able to cause a nuclear reaction. Enriched, to improve the quality of something, to make something better. Duplicate, to copy, to do something that is exactly the same as something else. Mushroom, a fungus that is shaped like an umbrella. Genetic, of, relating to, or involving genes. Relevance, relation to the issue under consideration. Cringe, feel disgust or embarrassment, sometimes by also showing the feeling by a movement of the face or body. Linger, to continue to exist as time passes. Ram, to forcefully hit something. Destructive, something that causes a very large amount of damage. Distinguished, known by many people because of some quality or achievement. Epitome, a perfect example, an example that represents or expresses something very well. Occupant, a person who holds a position at a particular time. Meddle, get involved in something that is not wanted to others. Temple, a building for worship. Scruffy, not neat, clean, or orderly. Precaution, something done in an effort to prevent bad things from happening in the future. Tyrant, a cruel, undemocratic ruler. Fanatic, marked by excessive enthusiasm and often intense uncritical devotion. Shatter, to break into many pieces. Flimsy, easily broken, torn, etc., not strong or solid. Erroneous, not correct. Liberate, to free someone or something from being controlled by another person, group, etc. Delirious, not able to think or speak clearly, especially because of fever or other illness. Illogical, lacking clear, sound reasoning. Procedural, describing a series of actions that are done in a certain way or order, an established or accepted way of doing something. Negatively, having a harmful effect. Glide, to fly without engine power. Tempo, the speed at which something happens. Podium, a small stand from which people give speeches. Awkward, not graceful. Rehearse, to prepare for a public performance of a play, a piece of music, etc., by practicing the performance. Calf, a very young cow. Unprofessional, not having or showing the experience or skill that is expected or appropriate in a person who is trained to do a job well. Colloquial, used when people are speaking in an informal way. Substitution, something that is used in place of something else. Exhausted, extremely tired. Javelin, an object that has a long straight handle and a sharp point that people throw as far as they can as a sport. Affirm, to decide that the judgment of another court is correct. Selfish, having or showing concern only for yourself and not for the needs or feelings of other people. Antibiotic, a drug that is used to kill harmful bacteria and to cure infections. Stray, to go in a direction that is away from a group or from the place where you should be. Lunge, to move or reach forward suddenly in a forceful way. Awe, a strong feeling of fear or respect and also wonder. Contamination, made unfit for use by undesirable elements. Padding, clothes sewn together to take up liquid. Scamper, to run or move quickly and often playfully. Hush, to prevent people from knowing the truth about something, such as a crime. Adventurous, not afraid to do new and dangerous or exciting things. Startling, very surprising, shocking, or frightening. Mishap, a small mistake or amount of bad luck, an unlucky accident or mistake. Enrage, to become filled with great anger. Poach, to catch and kill animals without permission on someone else's land. Jog, to run slowly especially for exercise. Predator, an animal or person that kills and eats other animals. An animal that preys on other animals. Caveat, an explanation or warning that should be remembered when you are doing or thinking about something. Exaggerated, something thought of or described as larger or greater than it really is. Bored, feeling weary and restless through lack of interest. Spearhead, the sharp point on a weapon with a long straight handle. Vacate, to leave empty or open. Horrendous, very bad or unpleasant. Cricket, a British sport played with ball and a bat. Cigar, a roll of tobacco leaves that is longer and thicker than a cigarette and that is smoked. Insignificant, not important. Flattering, to show as favorably, in a good light, as possible. Deceptive, intended to make someone believe something that is not true. Dangle, to hang down loosely in a way that makes it possible to swing freely. Salvage, the activity of saving things from being damaged or lost. Stitch, a piece of thread that is passed through a piece of material with a needle. Tuck, to push the end of something, such as a piece of cloth or paper, into or behind something in order to hold it in place, make it look neat, etc. Potency, the strength or effectiveness of something. Resolute, very determined, having or showing a lot of determination. Chicken, a bird that is raised by people for its eggs and meat. Substantiate, to prove the truth of something. Accomplishment, something done or achieved successfully. Rehabilitate, to bring someone or something back to a normal, healthy condition after an illness, injury, drug problem, etc. Absentee, someone who is expected to be present at an event, but is not. Psychologist, a scientist who specializes in the study and treatment of the mind and behavior. Adversity, a difficult situation or condition. Prone, likely to do, have or suffer from something. Swoop, to fly down through the air suddenly. Reflex, something done without thinking in reaction to some event or action. Jeer, insulting words shouted at someone. Acquittal, the decision that someone is not guilty. Bee, a black and yellow flying insect that is often kept in hives for the honey it produces. Convincingly, done in a way that causes someone to believe that something is true or certain. Abdominal, the part of the body below the chest that contains the stomach and other organs. Sock, a knitted or woven covering for the foot usually worn under shoes and extending above the ankle and sometimes to the knee. Psychology, the science or study of the mind and behavior. Captivate, someone or something that causes a lot of excitement and interest. Innuendo, statement suggesting someone did something immoral or improper. Dependable, able to be trusted to do or provide what is needed. Excel, to be better than others. Ruthless, having no pity, cruel or merciless. Titanium, a very strong and light silvery metal. Rod, a straight, thin stick. Crotch, a long stick with a padded piece at the top that fits under a person's arm, usually plural. Leisurely, slowly or purposefully. Briefcase, a small case or box that is used for carrying books or papers. Eavesdrop, to listen secretly to what other people are saying. Elicit, to get a response. Reputable, respected. Geographic, belonging to an area or country. Miniature, being or represented on a small scale. Excavate, to dig into or make a hole. Scanner, a device that reads or copies information or images into a computer. Amputate, to cut off, part of a person's body. Overblown, to seem more important than it is. Teamwork, the work done by people who work together as a team to do something. Reminiscent, something that reminds a person of some memory, fact or incident. Abundance, a large amount of something. Kiosk, a small structure that provides information and services on a computer screen. Stylish, fashionable and attractive. Competency, ability or skill. Amplification, an act, example or product of making something louder by increasing its strength. Atom, the smallest particle of a substance that can exist by itself or be combined with other atoms to form a molecule. Errant, straying outside the proper path or bounds, behaving wrongly. Validation, the act of showing that someone's feelings or opinions are fair and reasonable. Skirt, a piece of clothing worn by women and girls that hangs from the waist down. Hazardous, involving risk or danger. Foothold, a position that makes it possible to begin an activity or effort. Caption, a sentence or group of words that is written on or next to a picture to explain what is being shown. Magnify, to make something greater. Residual, remaining after a process has been completed or something has been removed. Horizontal, positioned from side to side rather than up and down, parallel to the ground. Fraught, full of something bad or unwanted, showing or producing tension. Juice, the liquid part that can be squeezed out of vegetables and fruits. Solar, relating to or involving the sun. Heretic, someone who believes or teaches something that goes against accepted or official beliefs. Grenade, a small bomb that is designed to be thrown by someone or shot from a rifle. Enhancement, an improvement of something. Ecology, a science that deals with the relationships between groups of living things and their environments. Resent, to be angry or upset about someone or something that you think is unfair. Mast, a long pole that supports the sails of a boat or ship. Restoration. The act or process of returning something to its original condition by repairing it and cleaning it. Corridor. A narrow area of land that is known for something specified, plainly, in a simple, honest and direct way. Additive. Something added to something else. Solvent. A liquid used for breaking down other substances. Antique. Art. Furniture, jewelry, etc. that was made at an earlier time and is often valuable. Tab. A small, identifying label, called a tab, that, when selected on a computer screen, causes something to happen. Chore. A job or project. Landfill. A system of trash and garbage disposal in which the waste is buried between layers of earth to build up low-lying land, unabated, without reduction in strength or intensity. Rainbow. A curved line of different colors that sometimes appears in the sky when the sun shines through rain. Tail. The back end or bottom of an animal. Wildlife. Animals living in nature. Wild animals. Validity. The state of being acceptable according to the law. Fiend. A very evil or cruel person. Seldom. Not often. Almost never. Finite. Having a limit or end. Swamp. Land that is always wet and often partly covered with water. Handbag. The item most women carry to hold personal items. Resistant. Not affected or harmed by something. Usually used in combination with another word. Wield. To have and use. Power. Influence. Etc. Middleman. A person or company that buys goods from a producer and sells them to someone else. Bureau. A government department or part of a government department in the U.S. Rendering. A description, explanation or translation. Monkey. A sort of animal that is closely related to apes and humans and that has a long tail and usually lives in trees. Susceptible. Easily affected, influenced, or harmed by something. Poker. Card game in which players bet money of the value of their cards. Bingo. Game in which players mark numbers on a board. Tribe. A group of families ruled by a common chief or leader. Comb. To smooth, organize, or separate hair. Viral. Something that becomes well known as it is passed from person to person. Inhabitant. A person or animal that lives in a particular place. Scarce. Very small in amount or number, not plentiful. Theoretical. Relating to the general principles or ideas of a subject rather than the practical uses of those ideas. Degradation. The act of damaging the quality of condition of something. Hoard. To collect and hide a large amount of something valuable. Moderation. The quality or state of being reasonable and avoiding behavior, speech, etc. that is extreme or that goes beyond what is normal or acceptable. Redistribute. To divide something in a group in a different way. Alias. Another name a person sometimes uses. Restitution. To give back something that was lost or stolen, or to pay someone for damage or problems they have had. Pipe. Long tube that can carry water, gas, etc. Hoof. The curved, hard part of the foot of some animals like a horse. Cannon. A large gun that shoots heavy metal or stone balls and that was once a common military weapon. Nut. A small dry fruit with a hard shell that grows on trees, bushes, etc. Fried. Cooked in hot oil. Prevalent. Accepted. Done or happening often or over a large area at a particular time. Common or widespread. Fever. A body temperature that is higher than normal. Pigeon. A gray bird that is common in cities and that has a fat body and short legs. Skull. The structure of bones that form the head and face. Multilingual. Able to speak and understand several languages. Unimaginable. Very difficult or impossible to understand or imagine. Clam. A type of shellfish that lives in sand or mud. Has a light-colored shell with two parts. And is eaten both cooked and raw. Parrot. A bright-colored tropical bird that has a curved bill and the ability to imitate speech. Bulky. having great volume in proportion to weight. Amendment, a formal change to a law, contract, constitution or other document. Posture, an attitude or position a person or group has toward a subject. Inward, toward the inside of something. Quotation, a group of words taken from a written work or speech and repeated by someone other than the writer or speaker. Constrain, to control something by limiting it. Loot, to steal things from a place during a war or after destruction has been caused by fire, rioting or something else. Gerund, looting. Clergy, a body of officials within a religious organization. Allergy, a condition that causes someone to become sick after eating, touching or breathing something that is harmless to most people. Depreciate, to lose value. Plentiful, available and easy to find. Waive, not require something that is usually required. Renaissance, a rebirth or renewal. Minuscule, very small. Contagion, a disease that can be passed from person to person by touching. Layoff, the act of ending the employment of a worker or group of workers. Outbid, to offer to pay a higher price than another person for an object at an auction. Retaliate, do something bad to a person or thing that has hurt you. Impound, to seize and hold in the custody of the law. Scenic, having a pleasing view of natural scenery such as mountains or valleys. Artery, any one of the tubes or passageways that carry blood from the heart to all parts of the body. Debacle, a great disaster or complete failure. Diplomacy, the work of maintaining good relations between the governments of different countries. Directory, a book that contains an alphabetical list of names of people, businesses, etc. Befall, to happen to. Sneaker, a shoe with a rubber bottom that is designed for people to wear while running or playing sports. Plantation, a large area of land especially in a hot part of the world where crops, such as cotton, are grown. Intertwine, when two countries are moved to closer together. Descendant, someone who is related to a person or group of people who lived in the past. Overcharge, to charge too much for something. Tractor, heavy machinery often used on a farm. Supervision, the action or process of watching and directing what someone does or how something is done. Impoverish, to make someone poor. Renegotiate, to again discuss details of a formal agreement especially in order to change them. Persuasive, able to cause people to do or believe something. Soybean, the bean of an Asian plant that contains a large amount of protein and that is used as a food. Beverage, something you can drink. Carbohydrate, a biomolecule that causes people to gain weight. Catapult, to be thrown forward violently. Placate, to cause someone to feel less angry about something. Candle, a long-shaped piece of wax with a piece of string in the middle that produces light as it slowly burns. Reclaim, to get a usable material from materials that have been used before. Lawn, an area of ground covered with short grass. Oven, a piece of cooking equipment that is used for baking or roasting food. Durability, staying in good condition for a long time. Pillar, a large post that helps to hold up something. Orthodox, usual or traditional. Opaque, difficult to understand or explain. Siphon, a bent tube used to move a liquid from one container into another container by means of air pressure. Grease, an oily substance. Antagonistic, showing opposition or anger. Container, a large box that goods are placed in so that they can be moved from one place to another on a ship. Airplane, train or truck. Lounge, an official mark that is stamped on paper or on a small piece of wax to show that something, such as a document, is genuine and has been officially approved. Irreparable, too bad to be corrected or repaired. Massage, the action of rubbing or pressing someone's body in a way that helps muscles to relax or reduces pain in muscles and joints. Barometer, an instrument that is used to measure air pressure and predict changes in the weather. Buckle, a fastening for two loose ends that is attached to one and holds the other by a catch. Luggage, the bags and suitcases that a person carries when traveling. Upscale, appealing to people who have a lot of money. Desertion, the act of leaving the military without permission and without intending to return. Rationale, the reason or explanation for something. Dye, a substance used for changing the color of something such as hair or cloth, usually permanently. Suffocate, to die because you cannot breathe. Characterize, to describe the character or special qualities of someone or something. Lifeblood, the most important part of something, the part of something that provides its strength and energy. Patriarch, a man who controls a family, group, or government. Hydroelectric, of or relating to production of electricity by water power. Technocrat, a scientist or technical expert who has a lot of power in politics or industry. Clerical, of or relating to a clerk or office worker. Rancher, a person who lives and works on a large farm for raising animals. Trample, to treat other people's rights, wishes or feelings as if they are worthless or not important. Preposterous, lacking reason or common sense. Soothe, to calm someone. Sympathetic, having or showing support for or approval of something. Eternal, continuing forever. Gratitude, the state of being grateful or thankful. Birthplace, the place where someone was born or where something began. Toil, to work. Fellowship, the position of a fellow at a university or college. Atrium, an open area inside a tall building that has windows to let light in from above. Traction, idiomatic, making practice. Destitute, extremely poor. Plaintiff, a person who brings a case against another person or accuses another person of a crime in a court of law. Operative, a person who does secret work for a government or political organization. Thermal, of, relating to, or caused by heat. Diffuse, to make less harmful or tense. Entity, an organization, something that exists by itself, something that is separate from other things. Needy, not having enough money, food, etc. To live properly. Disconcert, to make someone upset or embarrassed. Hesitant, slow to act or speak, especially because you are nervous or unsure about what to do. Kerosene, an oil that is burned as a fuel. Pardon, to officially declare that someone found guilty of a crime will be permitted to go free and not be punished. Fragility, something easily broken or destroyed. Surgical, of or related to medical operations. Glove, a covering for the hand that has separate parts for each finger. Cough, a physical condition or illness that causes someone to cough, which is when you force air through your throat with a short loud noise. Assassinate, to kill someone, such as a famous or important person, usually for political reasons. Brunt, the main force or effect. Signify, to be a sign of something, to mean something. Privatize, to remove something from government control and place it in private control or ownership. Laureate, someone who has won an important prize or honor for achievement in an art or science. Dismayed, a strong feeling of being worried, disappointed or upset. Cowardly, afraid in a way that makes you unable to do what is right or expected. Lacking courage. Contradiction, a difference or disagreement between two things which means that both cannot be true. The act of saying something that is opposite or very different in meaning to something else. Scold, to speak in a critical or angry way to someone who has done something wrong. Sauce, a thick liquid put on food to add flavor. Fertilizer, a substance that helps plants grow. Supplementary, completing or enhancing something. Buffet, a meal for which different foods are placed on a table so that people can serve themselves. Inquire, to ask about. Delta, a piece of land shaped like a triangle that is formed when a river splits into smaller rivers before it flows into an ocean. Leeway, freedom to do something the way you want to do it. Uncharted, an area that has not had a map made of it and has not been described. Mutate, to cause a gene to change and create an unusual characteristic in a plant or animal. Fatten, to make more substantial. Salad, cold mixture of uncooked vegetables usually prepared with a meal. Vitality, lively or energetic quality. Turbulence, strong movements of wind or air. Astronomical, extremely large. Rejoice, to feel or show that you are very happy. Mismanagement, the act or process of directing or supervising something badly. Initiation, the act of starting something, the beginning of something. Insure, to providing insurance, an agreement in which a person makes regular payments to a company and the company promises to pay money equal to the value of something, such as a house or car, if it is damaged, lost, or stolen. Startle, and NBSP, to surprise. Manger, an open box in which food for farm animals is placed. Aberration, a temporary change from what usually happens. Monsoon, a time when heavy rains are common. Grocer, someone who sells food, meats, fruits, vegetables and usually other products. Clot, medical, a mass of dried blood that stops blood from flowing through blood vessels. Densely, crowded with people. Altar, a table used as the center of a religious service or ceremony. Cardiovascular, relating to the heart or blood vessels. Accelerator, a method for increasing the progress of something. Isolated, alone and not having help or support from other people. Drainage, the act or process of removing water or liquid from a place or thing. Fluorescent, very bright. Denomination, a religious group that has slightly different beliefs from other groups that share the same religion. Aisle, a passage where people walk through a store, market, etc. Ferry, a boat that is used to carry people and things for a short distance between two places. Wool, the soft, thick hair of sheep and some other animals. Cuisine, a kind of cooking. Confidant, someone who is trusted, someone to be confided in. Thaw, to become more friendly and less angry. Labor, the process by which a woman gives birth to a baby. Frost, a thin layer of ice that forms on the ground or on grass when the air becomes cold. Conciliatory, intended to make someone less angry. Seedling, a young plant that is grown from seed. Bean, a seed that is eaten as a vegetable and that comes from any one of many different kinds of climbing plants. Meter, a device that measures and records the amount of something that has been used. Endowment, a large amount of money that has been given to a school, hospital, etc., and that is used to pay for its creation and continuing support. Pessimism, a belief that bad things will happen in the future. Feeder, a system that moves one thing to another. Savings, a bank account in which people keep money that they want to save. Notification, a message used to carry information. Hypertension, high blood pressure. Defective, having a problem or fault that prevents something from working correctly. Having a defect or flaw. Geological, relating to the study of rocks, soil and the physical structure of the earth. Asphalt, a black substance that is used for making roads. Uniformity, the quality or state of being the same. Envision, to think ahead and imagine what something will look like. Hose, a long, usually rubber tube that liquids or gases can flow through. Placebo, a substance that is given to a patient in a medical study that has no physical effect. Congruent, matching or in agreement with something. Tire, a piece of rubber that goes around a wheel. Stump, the basal portion of a bodily part remaining after the rest is removed. Uproar, a situation in which many people are upset, angry, or disturbed by something. pitiful, causing feelings of dislike or disgust by not being enough or not being good enough. Shut down, the act of stopping the operation or activity of a business, machine, etc., for a period of time or forever. Cooperative, a business or organization that is owned and operated by the people who work there or the people who use its services. Vine, a plant that has very long stems and grows along the round or up and around something. Expatriate, a person who lives outside their native country. Exemplary, a very good example of something. Meet, to give something to the people who you decide should get it. Cookie, a sweet baked food that is usually small, flat, and round and is made from flour and sugar. Prolonged, continuing for a long time. Screw, a small, pointed metal device used to hold two materials, such as wood or metal, together. Resilient, able to become strong, healthy, or successful again after something bad happens. Speculative, assumption based on guesses rather than facts. Blizzard, a severe snowstorm that goes on for a long time. Blink, to close and then open your eyes very quickly. Mismatch, a situation in which two people or things are not balanced or equal to each other in some way. Tuberculosis, a disease that mainly affects the lungs. Precondition, something that must exist or happen before something else can exist or happen. Exaggerate, make something seem bigger, better, worse, etc. than it is. To stretch the truth. Unfamiliar, not frequently seen, heard, or experienced. Irrational, unreasonable, not sensible. Conformity, behavior that is the same as most other people in a society or group. Maritime, of or related to the sea. Extort, to get something, such as money, from a person by the use of force or threats. Extortion, the crime of getting money from someone by the use of force or threats. Sob, to cry. Defense, the act of defending someone or something from attack. Cloak, to hide or disguise something. Admonish, to gently tell someone that they have done something wrong. Cocktail, an alcoholic drink that is a mixture of one or more liquors and other ingredients, such as fruit juice. Arthritis, illness that causes parts of the body where bones meet to become painful and often big. Demography, changes in human population. Tacit, expressed or understood without being directly stated. Congested, crowded. Pharmacy, a place in a hospital or a store where drugs and medicines are prepared and given out. Coarse, made up of large pieces, not fine. Occurrence, something that happens. Doomed, of or related to an unhappy ending. Exploitative, a word describing work that uses someone or something in a way that helps someone else unfairly. Bud, a small part that grows on a plant and develops into a flower, leaf, or new branch. Intuition, knowing or understanding something without any evidence or past experience. Visceral, coming from strong emotions and not from logic or reason. Cart, a small wheeled vehicle. Carriage, a large vehicle with four wheels that is pulled by a horse and that carries people. Nazism, ideology of Nazis, which wants to use power to control and harm other people especially because of their race, religion, etc.